Hermes, draw near, and to my prayer incline, in arts gymnastic and in fraud divine.
Dire weapon of the tongue which men revere, be present, Hermes, and thyself plant here.
Welcome to Third Eye Bind, episode 54, The Element of Air.
I'm kind of okay with it.
It's the crystal. It's like drawing me in.
It's
and the bell sleeves.
I love this. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
bell sleeves. It's the crystal though.
Like you could post up in Santa Monica somewhere and start a cult.
Yeah, I could,
immediately
truly.
in this outfit. Easily. Just like hang out in moon juice.
This thing is I saw this online and I was all, I must have this. I don't always do that with crystals, but I
Yeah.
was like, this I need for protection. Do you hear that?
Oh,
This thing is a weapon.
just injured
If I whirled this
yourself.
at someone's head, they're out. It's really heavy. Feel it. Like,
Oh wow.
it's like
is it
quartz.
clear quartz?
Yeah. Or it's, it's
Or
not
a
completely
little bit
clear.
smoky? It's cool.
It's clear, but it's got, I don't know, it's the
Ooh.
vibes.
The purple light on
But
it
look
was
through
really
it.
cool.
I know this is a little weird. Look at the candles through
I'll
it,
move
though.
my mic.
We're doing this.
Ooh.
I scry with it.
Oh.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Crystals can be fun if you're not an asshole.
That is magical.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You know what I was just thinking about? I forgot to mention last episode. I read somewhere that it was like a superstition in like early vaudeville days that like if another actor who wanted the same roles as you had your name, your real name, that they could like hex you or put a curse on you. And that's why so many people started taking stage names.
Stop.
Yeah. I don't know how true that is,
I love it.
but I like it. I thought you would enjoy that
I
one.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I think there's a lot to that,
Mm-hmm.
Man, this thing's cool. I feel like one of those guys that puts like nut sacks on the back of his car. Like, that's what I feel like. Like, look at my sack. Like, that's
Yeah,
what this,
it's the
that's
same, but
equivalent.
different.
It's the same, it's the exact same vibe.
The same but different. Yeah,
Wow.
totally. I see that.
Yeah, thank you. Well, hi, I'm Loretta,
And I'm Caitlin.
and welcome to Third Eye Bind.
Welcome.
Welcome. I like today's topic a whole lot.
Me too. I'm excited
I'm
for
very excited. We are
the third.
the third
Installment?
of our Element series.
Mhm.
Today we are talking about
Air. How am I supposed to breathe with no air?
Can't live, can't breathe with no air.
Have you seen? Okay.
That's so weird
I
that you saying that.
don't watch SNL anymore because it hasn't been good in
It's not good.
a really, 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 really,
Since
really
Will
long
Ferrell
time.
was on? I
Since
don't know.
literally. But Ayo Edebiri was on it, and
Did she do a Jordan Sparks?
She was so fucking funny. I like cannot. And one of her characters like went
She's like
into
an
that
improv
song,
chick,
and
so
it
she's-
was
yeah, no
she
joke.
was so funny.
Oh,
And
I
she
love
sings-
laughing.
Yeah,
God, you know what else loves laughing? The element of air.
the element of
We are in
air.
our element today.
We
Your
are.
eyeshadow matches my dress, which is whimsical, and I'm wearing a nutsack crystal, and we're gonna do
And we're
this.
wearing exciting shoes.
We're wearing it. Let's show the sources.
Get the shoe cam.
shoe cam, not
Shoe
vagina cam.
cam.
Okay. I was like, if you're like down to that, my quad strength is waning.
I have
right.
no core.
To do this, pff, it's air. It's whatever. We do whatever we want.
We
'cause
do
it's
whatever we
air.
want. This is the episode of us just doing whatever we
This
want.
is the air episode, and we're Geminis, so guess what's gonna happen? Whatever.
Is this the right card? No, shuffle again. Okay.
They're like, no, shut. The- Tell me how I'm supposed to breathe in
One more.
air.
Is that one in the deck?
No air. No, it's not. How sad. What card would that song be? Got me out here in the water so deep. Tell me how you're gonna breathe without me.
Either the Three of Swords or the
Very
Five of Cups.
Very dependent, right? Or no, longing?
Longing.
If I should
Oh.
die before.
Maybe the Seven of Cups even?
You took my breath, but I survived. I don't know
Oof.
how, but I don't even
But there's
care.
also like drowning in the water, which like
Yeah.
it gives like water, but also like you took
Is it
my
about
breath, that's
survival?
air. It is about survival.
Okay.
Maybe like I don't know.
The Jordan Sparks
The
card.
Jordan Sparks card.
Oh Lord, what is it?
It's the Seven of Pentacles.
Okay.
I didn't expect
Why?
that.
Why is it the earthy card?
I am shocked and befuddled.
Why?
So the Seven of Pentacles, take it slow.
Ugh,
It'll work itself out fine.
no, boo.
All we
hiss,
need
boo.
is just a little patience.
Boo, hiss, dislike, throw away.
Another.
I don't like it. Pick another one. I don't give a shit. This is
Should I
air.
shuffle it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's pentacles again, then I'll stop.
We object.
Checked. This is air, and we can object. What is it? Is it pentacles again?
No.
What is it? Is it worse than
What's on the bottom of the deck?
What is it?
It's the Knight of Wands.
Okay.
It's another fire. It's fire. Last time it was Pentacles, and now it's fire.
What is?
This thing on?
I don't like it.
This is about So I Creep. Yeah, just keep it on the down low. Except nobody is supposed to know.
I think it's just feeding us song. It's messing with it. I
It
feel like
wants
it's
us to
messing with
sing.
us.
What are
I
we
feel
singing
like
next?
It's messing with us. That's my explanation. What is it?
Two of Cups.
What?
If you're lost, I will catch you.
I will be waiting.
Time after time. Oh my God, that's our song!
This is it. This is the card. This is our card.
The Two of Cups. Okay. And
We were talking about
Mhm.
being Romeo and Michelle for our Halloween episode later this year.
we start planning Halloween
Yeah.
right now.
And I like that. I
Yeah.
like the Two of Cups because it's a two.
Me too.
And I like
It's like
cups.
two people who are holding the cup in the
Yeah.
center. They're both pouring
Yes,
into that
that's
same
Geminian.
cup. Yes.
Is it not?
It's kind of like a mini lovers card. And the
okay.
lovers is very much of the air. It's got Mercury in the background or the
Yeah.
angel Gabriel, depending on who you're talking to.
Ooh.
And I do feel like this is kind of a reflection of us
Yeah.
more than the element of air itself. But are we not embodiments of the element of air
Good Lord, yes.
here on Earth?
We truly are.
We truly are. Go watch our astrology episode with
Yeah.
Stephanie Campos if you don't know that we're Gemini.
Even though I have a very strong Taurus rising placement
Mm-hmm.
and you have Cancer rising,
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like I understand the element of air more than any of the other elements.
Mm-hmm.
I inherently get whimsy, I get freedom, I get movement, I get excitement, I get laughter, I get those types of qualities
Mm-hmm.
come out for me. What do you think about when you think about air?
I kind of feel like this is also why we didn't pull any swords cards, because swords are associated with the element of air and they're the suit of logic, reasoning, education, communication, difficult communication.
Right.
So I think especially when you said the word whimsy, I was like, that's why
Yeah.
we kept pulling funny cards,
Yeah.
especially the Two of Cups,
Yeah.
because they wouldn't have been able to touch on that with
No.
the swords.
I don't want to talk about swords.
Mm-mm.
I guess that's the darker side of air, which we can talk about, but not right now.
Later.
Because air is so important. It's an intangible element. It's mysterious. You
It
cannot contain it. You
Yes.
cannot imagine it. And yet it exists all
And
around you.
You can feel it.
You can feel it
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah. You need
Yeah.
it.
You need it to breathe.
Stay alive.
How am I supposed to breathe with no air? But really, it's sort of what keeps me going.
Mm.
It's sort of like, for me at least, it's very hopeful. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen next. Like, there might be something around the corner. Like it's that
the
sort of
breeze
feeling.
of
Yeah,
change
like
is
a
coming.
free fallen like vibe. Like,
Free falling.
yes,
Yeah.
like that's sort of how it makes me feel. Like
Mm.
joy.
The way you make me feel.
The way you
I
make
can't
me
stop
feel.
today.
Yeah, like it. I think it's an important element for people to identify with. I do think it gets misunderstood, like
Mhm.
Geminis do, and air signs are complicated,
Mhm.
but it's
Have you met an
because
Aquarius?
even I'm like, whoa,
Whoa. Beam me
I
up.
don't know. I don't know. Yeah, the air signs. I was reading about how the three air signs are different from one another, and
Mhm.
somebody equated it to the Gemini being the young night nativite, and the Libra being the I want to try it all teenager, and then the Aquarius being like this old soul grumpy person. And I don't know how accurate that is, but I thought it was a very interesting
That's
statement.
cute. Well, I guess, Gemini is mutable.
Yes.
Libra is
Libra's the
fixed one.
It's
and Aquarius
fixed.
is cardinal?
I think cardinal. Libra is cardinal.
Oh.
But
We're not astrologers.
we're mutable. We're changeable.
But we are mutable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that air definitely carries that quality of levity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you fart, their air comes out of your butt. It's funny.
When you laugh, air comes out of your belly and your chest
Yeah.
and your mouth. Mm-hmm.
It's sort of what we consume to survive and also move through. And you don't even, some people, look, I used to tell my mom I could see air.
Mm-hmm.
I actually can. And I don't know what that is sometimes, but maybe
It's
I
the
think it's the
autism.
veil. It's maybe the autism. I think it's the veil. It might be some sort of like autism.
I can also
but-
hear electricity.
I can also hear sound. Oh my God. Yeah, it's weird,
Mhm.
but I think it's a very magical element. Like all of them are, but I'm very partial to it. I feel
Mhm.
protective of air. I feel like I don't know, it just air's ready to have a good time.
Mhm. I think it's one of those elements that's often misunderstood,
Yeah.
right? Because, like, earth energy grounds us, water connects us to fluidity and to the realms of the dead and the unseen, and fire, like, ignites our passions and our creativity. But air is what allows all of these things to move
Yeah.
in whatever direction that we want them to. Air is the element of conjuring the others. When you think of like how a wildfire starts,
Yeah.
fire doesn't just, I guess like it could crackle and jump, but really it's the air that pushes it to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
Or like in Howl's Castle when they're trying to make the fire bigger, they use that air blower thing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It works with the other elements in an
Yes.
interesting
Air
way.
pushes the tides.
Yeah.
Air can cause tornadoes and
Yeah.
landslides. Like it's kind of like unhinged a little bit.
It is unhinged. I think that's what I like
That's
about
what's
it.
fun.
It's a little delicious in that way. It's like very
Mhm.
it's very textured and like I love the wind so much. Like wind cleansing is like that hits for me.
Like when you're at the beach.
Or it's like really windy and
feels
you're
so
just like,
good.
oh, and your hair's blowing and it
Mhm.
blows energy off of you. Like
really
that,
does.
it really does.
Yes.
Like wind cleansing is no joke. It's why you open your windows and doors when you cleanse your house, right? You
Mhm.
got to let things out. You got to let the air carry it out, right?
Yes.
It's like a messenger
The
and
air
like
is
a
like the
communicator.
transit.
Yeah, it's like
Yes.
Hermes. It's very
Mhm.
it's like let me take that for you. Let
Mhm.
me, our breath and our words are air. Like the way that we communicate is air. It's just very I don't know if to me it's not underrated, but maybe it is. It's a little harder to pin down, and that's the point.
Mhm.
I think
That's the point.
That's the
Yes, you
point.
can't pin it down
It's like
because it's literally air.
yeah,
This kind of is reminding me of the Six of Swords, which is the card with the boat crossing the water and the people in it. And it speaks to how, change is coming, but it takes some effort on someone's part, whether it's the wind pushing the boat or the person who's rowing the boat or the people who chose to get on. And when air really is like this vessel that moves our language, our
Mhm.
communication, our prayers, our thirst for knowledge and wisdom,
Mm.
all comes from air.
I just had this really interesting visual of what do we do when we go underwater? We hold our breath. We let it go and hold it because
Mhm.
we can't breathe underwater. But like, because water to me is a complicated, I'm very watery, but it's like kind of a scary element for me
Mhm.
because I almost have to hold my breath. I almost have to release my whimsy and my,
Mhm.
I'm like, ooh, I might leave. Like I have to like, you
Mhm.
could die if you breathe in water.
Mhm.
Like it's so interesting. Like
Yes.
how it's, yeah, being an airy person that is air is comfort to me. Air is complete. We might go run around naked. Like we don't
Mhm.
know. Like
We don't
know.
know.
We don't know what we're going to talk about right now. Like we didn't do any prep for this. Sometimes we do a lot of prep for things and we're like, whatever.
We're gonna wing
Whatever
it.
comes out comes out. Literally. And it's especially in like this day and age, I
Mm.
find myself needing that more than ever to
Mhm.
stay sane because it's so hard for me to stay positive nowadays that like Mike and I both are he's very airy person, like,
Mhm.
and we both like to joke and laugh, and like whimsy is like a big thing with both of us, like very fey, very like my husband's like a little fairy princess. And but that's comforting to us, I think. And so
Mhm.
like letting go at the end of the day, like this,
Mhm.
not even like an earthly relaxation, but like a goofiness.
That's so funny. That's how Brian and I really connect too.
Really?
Especially at like he comes home pretty late because he works doubles because capitalism
Yeah.
has made it unsustainable for so many of us to survive.
Yay.
Yay! But that was a little airy too, like a quip.
Yes, a quip. A quip.
A little quip.
A little winky wink. A little jokey joke.
But when he comes home, that's pretty much what we do. Like we spend
Yeah.
however much time we can stay awake just kind of cracking each other up, either talking about our days or joking about the kids or like laughing at some reel on Instagram. Like I think reels, especially the funny
Memes
ones,
are
memes
air.
are air. Memes are air.
Memes are air.
Absolutely. There's no grounding there.
There's no I love memes and like
Me too.
people that do comedy because it's like it's what we're sharing with each other,
Mhm.
like I mean that's what a lot of couples like send to each other
All day long, yeah.
memes all day. Memes is a language.
It is.
It's very airy.
Mhm.
There's I mean, no, it's air. Like that sending someone a meme is air energy.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you want them to laugh.
Yeah. LOL
Mhm.
with a real laughy emoji
Oh, yeah.
is air.
Yeah. I feel like emojis in general are very
Emojis in general
airy.
are very like
what do they
symbolic.
mean?
Yeah, like
What's
what?
the tone? You'll never know.
You'll never know. Texting is texting is very interesting. I just had like a thought where I'm like texting and like social media, but then I was like, wait, I don't like social media all the time. So, whoa.
We don't like the swords all the time. Like
What
air
are
can't
the
always just be
Yeah.
pleasurable.
Oh no.
It exists on a spectrum.
But what's the bad side of air?
I guess,
Inundation?
I think the bad side of air could be like overly analytical.
Yeah.
Um,
Anxiety.
struggling to like make decisions for oneself. Very air. That
Overthinking.
like two of swords.
Oh,
I don't want to see it.
yeah.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit here.
Yeah, I do that too.
Mhm.
Because sometimes that levity is to escape. Air
Totally.
is a good escape.
Mhm.
Addiction, I would say.
Airy.
Just doing too much. Like anxiety, anxiety is a big one
Mhm.
because it's cerebral. And if you're, yeah, I could see that where it just goes overboard because it's not just la-di-da, like that's very Aquarian,
Mhm.
very dreamy, like It's more like I'm taking the circumstances that I'm in. I'm grounded, but I'm making light of it. I'm choosing to like
Mhm.
not ignore it, but twist it into something that I can stomach rather than
Mm.
I'm escaping to my dream world. At least that's how I
Yeah.
feel. And that might be my
I think
Taurus
that's the
grounding.
scale, you
That
know?
might be the
Like
scale. Yeah.
it can fluctuate between either
Yeah.
end of those like
I never go
binaries.
full, like maybe when I was a kid, but even, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Okay, that's interesting. So like another thing that made me think of is how I think one of the negative associations with like Libra in particular is like the indecisiveness.
Yeah.
I want to do it all, but it's making me do nothing
Mm,
because I can't choose, I can't decide, I want to try it all, but I'm going to try
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
And then with Gemini, language is really our thing, communication, which means we can be hilarious, we can be enchanting, but we can
Mm,
also like cut
be real mean.
to your soul.
Yeah. Yeah. I've definitely been told that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I was joking. And then the other person's like,
That was not
that was
funny.
mean. That was not funny.
was
That
deeply
was
hurtful.
too deep. It's like if you're watching a comedy and like people are like, oh yeah, like 40-year-old virgin or something, where they're like, oh yeah, I've touched a boob before. And then he's like, oh yeah, it felt like a, and then he's like, yeah, and it felt like a sack of rocks. And then people are just like, what?
When it just
Like you
doesn't
just say
hit.
something so off that either is so mean or so
Weird.
too weird for people. Like that's what I do a lot of the time. And it's just awkward. And then you're like, oh, sorry, I went too far. Yeah.
I can't see the line because air is intangible.
Yeah. The limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's important, though, to know that you can cross bound. It's very Hermes, it's very trickster
Mm-hmm.
that there is no limit. Like the limit does not exist. Like the bounds by which we can think of things, like this whole show.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need to forget about what people expect or like are saying and sort of
Mm-hmm.
like let's examine it. Let's look at this. And that's something I've always felt
It's
pretty
very
strongly
airy.
about because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be like everyone else. Like there's also that like I want to be unique.
That's so, yeah, like that's
You
very
know?
Aquarius and very,
Yeah.
I think like with Aquarius, it's like, ooh, I don't want to be like any of you.
Yeah.
And then with Gemini, it's like, you'll never know who you're going to get.
Yeah. It's like I'm a mystery.
I'm a mystery. Today I'm this one, tomorrow
Yeah.
I'm that one. If I haven't eaten, I'm another one. Like it's
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
My mom used to say like, "Oh, Caitlin's twin is here.
Oh yeah.
Somebody feed Caitlin."
Mike calls me Flora when I'm being a bee.
Flora's your twin.
Flora, or when I'm periody or whatever. It's like Flora. I'm like, sorry. But it's so weird. We get like these. We have evil twins.
We have evil twins.
Yeah. Now it's Floretta.
When I had my Ifa reading, they said that the Baba Lao said that my destiny was constantly battling between, not constantly battling, but learning to master balance between wickedness and wisdom. And I was like, that is the most Gemini I have ever heard.
Yeah.
That is so airy. And it's true because, like, when you embrace wisdom and knowledge and learning, like you learn so much not only about the world around you, but the people around you and yourself. And I think it's really easy to like weaponize that ability and turn it into a way to
Yeah.
hurt people rather than to help yourself. I was a
Yeah.
real bitch in like my teen and early 20s. I am
Mm.
sorry to everyone.
Sorry, I
Just
can't imagine. You
sincerely,
being a bitch.
this is my 9th step. I am
Your
so
nine-
sorry.
It's your 9th step. This is my 10th step.
Your 9th step is when you make amends.
Oh, then yes, that makes it. Oh man. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I can be real mean.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's like that 5 of Swords energy. It's like, which person are you in the 5 of Swords? Are you the one holding all the swords? Are you and like with a wicked smile on
Yeah.
your face? Are you the people in the background that have been hurt?
Mm. If
And
I had more
think-
fire in my chart, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Because I think my Cancer placement's really keep me like, okay, I can keep this and like
Yeah.
be very calculated about how I am mean to people and when. It's my bigger person placement, I feel. Like,
Thank God
but
for those Cancer placements.
truly, like, that's my softness. Cause yeah, I mean, people think Aries and Capricorns are mean. They are, but like,
Because they're very,
I want
I'm
why
business.
this is like
we're
this
here
is,
for business.
but it's very direct.
Yes, very direct.
I'm vindictive. I will remember and then plan to trap you. Or I will not direct. You won't know. You won't know necessarily, but you'll find out. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
more my style. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be smart about this and plan. It's very sneaky. And that's
Sneaky.
why people call us gossips, I
Yeah,
think.
two-faced.
Two-faced. And you know what?
Two-faced. You know what?
Sometimes that's not wrong.
Yeah.
You know? That's not wrong. But yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
very
there's,
interesting.
a spectrum to every sign.
Sign and element.
And I can understand why people feel the way they feel about Geminis. I'm so sorry that you never found a Gemini who is obsessed with you, because we're also
honestly,
like, we are so fun when we genuinely like the people that we're around and the things that we're doing. We're like, oh my God, you're so cute. I love this. Thanks for bringing me. I can't wait to do this again. You're so pretty. Wow, you're so smart. Like, we love
complimenting people.
Yes. Oh, like sincere compliments are my love language.
Yeah.
If I see a pretty girl, I'm like, oh my God, you're so pretty. Oh my
I
God,
say
I
that
love your
too.
outfit. Like, oh my God.
I like telling strangers that they're beautiful.
Me too. Oh,
I really do.
I love telling people that they
Yeah.
look cool outfit.
Yeah.
And now, like, my oldest does it too, I noticed, who's also a Gemini.
Aw.
He loves, I have to tell you.
I
have to tell you. You look so cool.
That's so cute. Yeah, I do like that. Like, Mike knows that I do that. Like, I can make friends with anywhere.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's too much. Sometimes I need to not talk to people that I like to talk to. Because they might be dangerous. But
yeah, stranger danger.
It's a little bit like, oh.
You have a puppy? You have cookies in your van? Okay.
Then I'm dead. I do get a lot of enjoyment out of amusing people.
Yeah.
Whether
Me
it's
too.
performing on this podcast or like amusing people with my wit. Like if I'm in line at a bathroom in a club, like I will make friends for life. Like I'll do it too at markets. Like I'll be like, I love you. Like I like telling people that I don't know that I love them, but it's hard for me to tell people I actually love that I do. Really love them. It's funny because it's whimsical and fun when you're just like, I know I love
Oh my
you.
God,
I
I
think
love
we
you.
should we get married? Should we live an old life and just have a ranch together? Do you like goats? Because I feel like this is a lifelong commitment to a person I met 5 minutes ago.
What's your Pinterest aesthetic?
I love you. I'll never see you again, but I love you. Goodbye.
I love
Have a nice
you.
life.
Oh my God, I've told so many people in the bathroom that I love them.
me too.
In my lifetime.
A lot of
Oh my
loves
God, I
out
love
there.
you.
It's amusing to me to have like what's the word? I'm like fleeting connections.
Yes, I love fleeting connections.
fleeting
They're so much
connections.
fun.
I love them.
No effort to maintain and foster.
No, nothing. There's
just like a moment that makes us both feel really good.
One familiar passing moment. What song is that?
But I
oh,
liked
it's Into
it.
the Woods. Sorry.
Oh,
But like,
that's very
interesting.
airy.
That's actually a song about a moment.
Yeah.
It's a song about, what is it called? It's called Moments in the Woods, and it's about the baker's wife who's like, oh, I'm a baker's wife. Meh. And then she and the prince, they're all running through this forest, and it's a metaphor for life, right? And then she meets the prince who's looking for Cinderella, and then she's like, oh, I don't know. And then they like make out, and then he goes away, and she's like, what was that? And
That
the
was a
song is
moment.
about being like, you'd never know you had a, like, if life were only moments, you'd never know you had one. Is a really good line because she's like, oh, I get it. And then she dies after the song. But like, spoiler alert for Into the Woods. the giant steps on her right after she has this amazing, she's
But you
this
know what?
epiphany
She died well.
about loving the life she has, because she's like constantly like, I want it to be this. And then she's like,
Mhm.
oh, it's special because it's not all the time. And I feel like that's sort of a Gemini air quality.
That's very airy, yes.
To be like, a moment. Like,
yes.
but if we were all the time like having to have these fleeting connections with people, it would be
exhausting.
wouldn't be special.
It wouldn't be special at all. No, they're like little
No.
treasures.
They're little
Mhm.
treasures.
I love that.
That's yeah.
I think I really like performing too. I think that's why I like being a medium, why I like being a teacher. Is like I love that moment
The moment in
where
the woods. Yeah.
like the screen is on me and I'm just like blah, 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 and I'm
You're
in my
very
element
good
and I'm
at it.
vibing and vibing and my hands are doing the things that they do and like
Mhm.
I love to entertain. I say it all the
Mhm.
time, like I'm here to
You're
entertain.
very good at it. I was telling Mike the other day, I was like, Caitlin is just like a natural, because I'm like a trained actor or whatever. I've been around people that are like whatever, and you're not like an actor, but you are a natural at
I'm an
this.
entertainer.
Like you really, really are. Like at our live show, and you just went off, and like, it was just like
It was a good show.
truly. I was very impressed, and I was like,
Thank
"Oh my
you.
god,
That means a lot.
no, I mean it.
Thank you.
I wouldn't say it unless I mean it. That's something else that's airy. You don't say things unless you mean them.
I don't know. I feel like some people might argue that airy is the opposite.
Aries or air?
Oh, airy, like airy.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I feel like no. I feel like I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my earthiness.
That's the earthy
Yeah.
grounding. Is I'm not going to say it unless I mean it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my stubborn airiness.
'Cause when
air,
you think about-
air is very like, oh my god, I love your dress.
Uh-huh.
That's the ugly effing dress. I've
Ugliest
ever
effing
seen.
dress I've ever seen. Oh my god, I love your
That's
bracelet.
two-faced. I love your bracelet.
That is very airy.
That is very airy.
That's very like, okay, the Knight of Swords
Mm.
is the one who's like charging, rah, rah, rah. His like mouth is open. Even his horse is aggro and his like swords up in the air. And one of the lessons of the Knight of Swords is like, watch your mouth.
What
Watch your
the
mouth.
Knight of Swords. Is that the Kurt Cobain card that I have? No, maybe not.
It might have been.
I'll
It took
look
us
it
a
up.
really long time, remember,
Yeah.
to figure that one out.
The Knight of yeah. It's the one he likes to shoot his gun, but he doesn't know what it means.
Is
that's the one you suggested.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That is
Because
very
the Knight of Swords doesn't always say what they mean.
Yeah, that is.
And
very
either they're left having to like remove foot from mouth, try to
Mhm.
repair,
I've done that.
or they're like, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep.
You know what?
being
I do say
terror.
things I don't mean. I do say
Mhm.
things I don't mean. And I'll say stupid shit that comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I didn't mean it like that. I say that all the time. Like, I didn't mean it like that. It's like, well, you said it like that, you know?
know,
It's like,
and
but
I'm
I didn't.
sorry.
My intent didn't
I was
match.
saying something else in my head.
It came out, you know, just
Mhm.
came out. Oops. Like
Yeah.
I think before I speak before I think all the time.
Yeah.
And that gets me in trouble.
I often, like, if people are asking me questions a lot, like, I will accidentally lie. Like, unless I'm in and then I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. And then I have to correct myself
Yeah.
and say something different. And I don't know what it is.
Huh.
Like, I don't know what the fuck.
I'm a terrible liar. It must be the Taurus, because I'm a terrible liar.
Really?
Ask me a question and I'll try to lie. Anything.
I don't know what to ask.
Oh, that's fine. It's okay. Like,
I can only think
what
of
color is
terrible
your dress?
questions.
Like, literally just like anything.
What'd you have for breakfast this morning?
I had a blueberry chocolate cake. It was really good. Like, I had a chocolate cake. Like, you know I'm lying. Like, I'm not a good liar. It's not.
And like, they're not even good lies when I say them.
I had
I'm
a
just
salad.
like panic
the truth.
speaking.
Yeah.
You know, like panic speaking, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "Bleh,
Do you do that to
I
your
didn't mean to
kids?
do
Because
that.
they're like, Mommy.
Well, now I've gotten in the sometimes it happens. They'll like ask me a bunch of stuff really,
Yeah,
really
'cause
quick.
that would-
And then I like say something and I'm like, wait, no, that's not it.
Right.
Hold on. But lately I've gotten in the habit, in like the last 10 years. What I do is like, if people ask me lots of questions, I'll close my eyes and I'll say like, can you just give me a minute to respond.
Mhm.
It's different when we're in situations like this and you and I are vibing and we're
Yeah.
asking questions of each other, or
Yeah.
but I've learned that like I feel like people expect me to respond immediately, but my brain needs time to process answers. So I think in my desire to make others feel comfortable, I'll just give them an answer right away,
Right.
even if it's off the wall.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then so now I'm at a point in my life where I have to like be comfortable with my own silence for a moment
Mm.
and then respond. People are like, what do you do for a
Yeah.
living? Oh, like I'm in fashion. Like, no, I'm not. I used to be.
Yeah.
I'm a medium.
Right.
I don't know why I said that. Like, it's so
No.
awkward. So now I just like let the air be awkward instead of my words.
Right. Well, you're giving yourself a pause. You're giving
Yeah.
yourself a beat, an air, if you will. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, because when I put my foot in my mouth, it's definitely, I just need 2 seconds of not,
Mhm.
of 2 seconds of earth or water. I don't know what element, not
Yeah.
fire, but definitely not fire. But like,
Earth or water for sure.
earth or water, one of those two would be great.
Yeah.
When I'm maybe water for me, because I can be a little more like conscientious of other people's feelings. Which is something I've been actively working on. And it's nice. It's like, yeah, it works.
Mhm.
Most of the time, like this empathy thing.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's real helpful in like,
Mhm.
life. It is really because we did a whole episode on empathy, and I
Mhm.
didn't think of it like that. I was thinking more like global empathy, and
Totally.
truly like having empathy for just the people that you take for granted, maybe like your family or your partner, like, or people
Mhm.
that you're around all the time, and so
Yeah.
your relationship is different than someone you
Mhm.
just meet. But I have definitely been accused of like, wow, you're so nice to the stranger, but you're like being a bee to me. What's that about? I'm like, huh.
What is that about?
What is that about? That's not good. So yeah, that's
I'm gonna workshop that.
yeah, I'm gonna workshop that in my brain. But yeah, like that
Mhm.
moment of thinking before you speak
Mhm.
really helps me.
Helps me say what I mean and what I want to
Yeah,
say.
instead of
And when I'm working with
jibber jabber.
clients, I don't even think twice about giving myself that time and
Mm-hmm.
space. Like, I'll listen to their questions, I'll take a moment, and then I'll respond. So, like, why wasn't I giving myself that grace in day-to-day life? Again, I think it's because other people expect you to like answer right away, especially like neurotypical people.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any patience. So they're like,
No.
what do you mean? Why is it so quiet? I just asked you a question. And I'm like, oh, I'll respond. Oh my God. I think this might be a daddy issue.
Oh, I like that. Do
Because
tell.
my dad was super impatient.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would just like say something to
Yeah.
answer him.
Whoa.
And it wasn't always the truth because I just had to give an answer. And it was the first thing my brain could concoct because I was
Mhm.
very imaginative baby.
Yeah. That's very
Oh my
interesting.
God.
Wow,
Wow.
self-discovery here.
Incredible.
Connecting the dots.
It definitely was a challenge at first with Brian because he's an Aries.
Mhm.
So like he wakes up the day and is like, "Let me show you this. Can I see this? What if we go here? I was looking at this hotel." Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, stop.
Fire, right?
Aries.
That's a good combo, though.
And just like so excited, so
Yeah.
excited about life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I need a moment. And before I would just be like, yeah, I want to do that.
Fireman.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I'd end up having to do stuff that I absolutely did not want to do. And he's like, but you said you wanted to do this. And I'm like, I just said something because you were talking
Yeah.
a lot and really
Yeah.
fast.
That's really funny.
And so now he knows at this point, like, I'm like, let me think about that. Let me think
Mhm.
about that. And it's not anything other than I actually need to take some time to think about it before I say something stupid.
Right. That is good. That's fire signs can also be really spontaneous, which I feel
Mhm.
like is a very good for me. I love being spontaneous. That's
Yeah.
like, ooh, I went and did something today.
Mhm.
Cool, especially because I barely leave my house, or if I'm
Totally.
depressed, it's like I'm not being spontaneous. I'm like bed, couch, food, night, night.
Absolutely.
That's it. Maybe
if it
a cry.
wasn't, yeah, maybe a cry.
Perhaps a few cries sprinkled in between, and maybe a cigarette.
Absolutely.
Like, we don't know. That's the it factor. What am
That's
I
my
going
wild
to?
day.
Is it going to be wine, an edible, or a cigarette today?
But surely, like, I wouldn't leave the house if it wasn't for Brian. I have like a cancer stellium,
Yeah.
so I'm very content with being at home. But he's like,
Yeah.
let's go on adventures. I bought
That's
plane tickets.
nice.
Everybody get in the car. And I'm like, okay.
Aw. That's very nice.
But to speak to Air, like, he's the one with all the ideas. I'm the one that really
Yeah.
moves everybody to make it happen. Like,
Yeah.
he'll book the plans, he'll pick the date, but I'm the one that's like, okay, we
Follow
have
through.
to pack bags. We need to make sure we have this.
Mhm.
We have to plan dinner. Like, that's all the cerebral stuff. Where are we eating? I need
Mhm.
to eat at least 4 times. Snacks in
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
All the planning and stuff. That's very.
Yeah.
hmm
The follow through.
That's kind of like Queen of Swords energy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to delegate this to you now and this to you now, if this is what we're
Mhm.
doing.
Like, you've thought ahead about things, like,
Oh,
and that
yeah.
can lead to anxiety.
Yeah.
But yes, I do that too.
I have to know where we're going to eat and where I'm going to charge my phone and where I can refill my water bottle.
Mhm. It's important. Yeah. No, yeah, if you know, a lot of the times I think ahead of people like that I work with or whatever, especially in work things, or I'll be in meetings. I'm like, okay, I've played out every scenario possible, and I've thought of like, I'm very strategic about things.
Mhm.
Like, and yeah, a lot of the time people will say stuff, and I'm like, well, you didn't think of that already? Like, you didn't, I already thought of that. And I'll just let them talk. But in my head, I'm like, that's interesting that they weren't as prepared as me for this.
Mhm.
Or like, why didn't they think of that already? Or like, and it's very like, because I'm insane. Like, but not in a Virgo way.
I feel like it has
But
something to
it's,
do with
I don't
like
know.
being really imaginative.
Yeah.
And then when you move it into that setting of like planning for your job or your craft or whatever,
Yeah.
like you're constantly, I don't know about you, but like I can experience entire scenarios and like adventures and things like all in my brain. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that was nice.
And
I
you
don't ever have to do anything.
Yeah. And you
I've
feel
already thought about it.
good about, like, you
Yeah.
feel like you got serotonin out
It's
of it.
satisfying.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I used to daydream
Oh, yeah.
all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Mhm.
Like, get full goosies, like,
Yeah.
go on an
Felt so
adventure,
real. Mhm.
imagine my life, and like, yeah, I'd just be like sitting there like eating a bag of chips. Yeah, Chupa Chupa,
Chips
Spice
sound
Girls Chupa, like
good.
whatever. Like, I'd imagine myself
Yeah.
like, I'm in the Spice Girls, and I'd be in my Spice Girls head like
Yeah.
all day.
I feel like you're applying that to like problem solving
Yeah.
for your job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Like, I have
Mhm.
to remember a lot of things because I have a lot of jobs, but
Mhm.
I'm good at it. I think I'm good at it
Mhm.
because I am able to be adaptable enough
Mhm.
and like to just do a bunch of these different jobs and do
Mhm.
them the best I can.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
all have YouTube. Like, we can look up tutorials on how to be things. Like, we have so much resources, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, let me like,
I'll figure it
hey,
out.
it's the
I'll
dance.
figure it
It's
out.
the dance.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
think that has a very, Gemini is very adaptable to situations
Absolutely.
and very mirrory to
Mhm.
people. And sometimes I've done that a lot. When I was younger, I would do that. Like, again, not in an Aquarius way, like you said, like a very, I want to be the weirdest one here.
Mhm.
Like, I would be like, I want to fit in.
Yeah.
But I would mirror people.
Yeah.
And I would be like, but I wouldn't know I was doing it. I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to wear that now. And I'd be like, oh, shit. Like, I don't want to copy this person.
Yeah.
But like, I wanted to fit in with my friend groups. And like, that's how I want to bond with people. But some people don't like that. Some people are like, you're copying me.
Yeah, they're like,
Especially when you're like a kid, it's like,
Mhm.
oh no, you bought the same shoes as me. And I'm like, oh shit, I did.
I
I should
didn't-
probably
I
think
didn't
for
even mean
myself
to.
maybe. But
Yes.
I'm just, it's like I don't know what that is,
Or,
but I
like,
used to do that a lot.
I've found that like I will pick up the mannerisms.
Yes.
Or
The language. Oh, I do
the
that a lot.
language of people that I spend a lot of time with.
I say hella. I mean, I was born in the Bay Area, but
Yeah.
I got it from Mike.
I started saying dude because I'm around Brian all the time and he's from
Yeah.
Reseda.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
never a dude before.
I was always
I was
like,
never
'cause I
a
hung out with
dude.
dudes. I talked like a freaking sailor for the
Yeah.
longest time. And I just stopped. My cursing as I've gotten older has gotten less intense
Yeah.
because I don't know. I think I just, there's other ways to express yourself. I think
Mhm.
it comes off harsh, which was definitely my forte.
Yeah.
Um, part of my defense mechanism, and softening
Aw.
that is softening my language a bit,
Yeah.
not all the way.
Um, on this like topic of our daydreams and how like potent
Mm,
and powerful they are, something that I mentioned last episode is that most of the magic I do these days is all in my head. Like
that
it's
makes
all
sense.
in my imagination. Or even like when I'm having trouble, if I'm like in a depressies and I can't get to my altar to just say good morning and do my
Yeah.
usual prayers, like I will imagine it all from bed, me doing all of the exact things that I would normally do physically in the 3D world.
Yeah.
And I find that it's so potent.
Yeah.
Like it gets the job done. And we don't need all of this stuff to practice magic or
Mm-mm.
witchcraft or whatever your thing is. You don't need to buy all of the candles, all of the
You don't need to
incense.
buy a ball sack crystal
You
to
don't
wear around
need
your
the
neck.
Balsac
You don't need it.
crystal. You don't need any of it because the more you exercise your imagination, the stronger it becomes.
Yes.
And you can have everything you need in your brain.
Also,
It's so
we're
cool.
totally erasing people that are nonverbal.
Yes, people who are nonverbal, people
Like,
who
I
are
just realized
physically
that we're like, yeah, words and
disabled.
communication. There are so many other ways to communicate other than your
Yeah.
words.
Mhm.
Touche, Loretta. I almost said Laura again.
We're
Loretta.
Loretta.
Seriously, though,
Yeah.
like, you communicate with the dead and spirits and guides
Mm.
by talking to them in your head, right? In
A
a
lot of the
way.
time, yeah.
So yeah. And that's
Mhm.
still airy. That's
That is
still,
scary.
yeah, there are
Mhm.
other ways to communicate.
Yes, there are other ways to communicate, there are other ways to cast spells and do magic,
Yes.
and I just think this is such a magical the most magical tool ever,
Mm,
and, like, it's there all the time,
yeah.
and you can just dip out of whatever this is and go into the realm of whatever in your brain and,
Yeah.
like, make anything possible there,
Mhm.
and even if it's not the reality that you're currently in, like, what a nice break
Yeah.
to be able to go to this place and
Yeah.
have, connection and feel refreshed before you come back to whatever the real world has in store for you.
That's meditation.
That's meditation, that's trance, that's hypnotism.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The last episode and this one are really connected.
They really
They really
are.
are like bookends because the words we speak and communication go hand in hand, like,
Mhm.
and that's ruled by air. And understanding that developing, like, the words that we speak matter to
Mhm.
ourselves. I've been saying some very mean things to myself, and that's a thing that
Mm.
I do. And it's like, it really weighs you down when you don't speak, like, that's a spell.
Mhm.
Like, you're putting a hex on yourself by saying these, literally, by saying these
Mhm.
mean things, and I've felt the repercussions of that. And it's like, some people might say, "Oh, is there an entity attached to you?" The entity is me.
It's the call's coming from inside the house.
Like, it's not.
Mhm.
And luckily, I'm a person that is very self-aware, and that's also an airy quality, and very aware of, like, when I'm doing something dumb and my fault, very aware of my faults, so I'm not afraid to admit them, right? Which is a good quality, but also I'm very hard on myself. So it's like
Mm.
this, you know, like a day, as much as we make fun of affirmations and manifestation,
Mhm.
like, legit tonight I'm making a mood board,
Mhm.
like a old school vision board with magazine cutouts. Like,
Mhm.
I'm doing that because I'm going back to basics. Like,
Yes.
I need something that's, like, very concrete for my brain to do that
Mm.
will help me get out of this funk.
Mhm.
And that's fun too. It's a creative thing to
Mhm.
do that, you know, put it on your altar, leave some offerings, and light a candle next to it, like, and think about it. Like you said, like use your brain, use this tool that we don't even use all of. Some of us use more that can, talk to the dead and things, and or hear messages or whatever. And you can, I don't know, it sounds real weird. You can talk to yourself by journaling, automatic writing, even, because you can get subconscious hints, even if you're not like channeling a spirit or whatever. Like, just that's very airy too, to just sort of be inquisitive about who you are on the inside, and then you're thinking about it, and then it's just like it is a scale. Damn it.
That really is like the shadowy and
Yeah.
a shadowy aspect of air is like that negative self-talk that I think so many of us struggle with. And something that's been helpful for me that I've maybe mentioned on the show is that I've asked my spirits to please correct my thoughts or redirect them
Yeah.
so that when I hear myself saying things like, "Oh, you're so lazy. Why can't you just do this?" They'll come through and be like, "Well, are you lazy or are you tired because you did this and this and this? Also, it's okay to just be tired because you are. Like, this life is hard." And it's been really helpful. And then I don't know, this self-hypnosis class that we did last night in Moon Shadows was really cool, and it was all about, like, reprogramming the way we talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
It was really neat, and
Who did that?
her name's Robin Zamora. She's one of our members, and she's, like, a licensed
Does Robin want to be on the podcast?
hypnotherapist.
Honestly,
Maybe. She might be in LA.
That would be a good
Yeah.
episode to do.
Hypnotism.
Hypnosis. Ooh, I like that.
That would be
Write
fun.
that down. We haven't done that yet. Yeah. We're all just doing the best we can.
We
but
are
these
all
are
doing our best, and it is hard out there.
It is. But I love that idea of just like when you sit in bed, and if you're physically tired and unable to physically do something or whatever, you can imagine it. And it's done.
And it's done.
And it's appreciated, and it's noted. Like, your spirits aren't going to judge you for that.
They're not going to be like, "Oh,
your good
try
spirits
harder."
are not going to judge you for that.
No. They're going to be like, "Wow, cool, you did it."
Yeah. You did it. You gave it thought. Because when you give thoughts to things, your energy is directed there. That's just how it is. And if you can add action and words onto that, great. But if you can't,
that's okay too.
You can use your imagination.
And I feel like sometimes the more you imagine it, the more it helps you to make choices that align with whatever it is you're imagining.
Yeah.
Because your brain is always thinking about that thing. So you start noticing the opportunities that bring you closer to it. Kind of like when you buy a new car and all of a sudden you start seeing that car everywhere. It's the same thing. Like, because it's on your mind, you start seeing all of the places it's showing up in the world around you. But if what's on your mind is that it's not possible, then you'll keep seeing all of the things that reaffirm that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that obstacles don't exist in this world, but it does mean that you shift yourself to be just a little bit more conscious of the things that can help you get to whatever it is that you want. And that's kind of cool. Brains are really cool. That's not even like woo-woo. Like that's like brain, that's like science.
And that's literally what magic is. That's literally what it is knowing that. And that's what I'm reminding myself is like, you have the power to do things. Like, I felt so not powerful lately. And it's like, I got to put my ball sack and get it together.
Yeah.
But like you, Gemini, you have to like understand that you're powerful. That's like it. That's the whole thing is like believing that you have power to change things.
And like faking it till you make it.
Yeah.
If you keep telling yourself you're powerful, even if you don't believe it at first, eventually you'll believe it.
Yeah.
And then you'll start to notice it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you can do other cool things and like
Matilda.
Like Matilda. Oh my God. I wanted to be telekinetic
so badly. So bad.
I am not.
The Matilda to like
which
tarot card.
tarot reader pipeline.
pipeline
Fully real.
is real,
It's
and it's a
real.
good one.
And it's a good one. It's a good one.
It's such a good pipeline.
It's such a good pipeline to be in, and all the pipelines we could be in
Mhm.
right now.
Did you see the Matilda musical on Max?
No.
It was really
Oh, wait.
good.
Oh, I want to watch it.
With oh my God, what's her name?
oh.
Love of my life, light of my
oh,
world. She's
yeah,
in
I know.
all of the
I know.
Shakespeare,
I can't think of her name.
all of the Kenneth Branagh movies.
Mhm.
Emma
She was married to him. Emma Thompson.
Thompson. Thank you.
Yeah, she was married to him.
They were married. That's
They were
right,
married.
dude.
And
The
he
like
cheated.
the
with
Kenneth.
Helena Bonham Carter.
Oh my
It was like
God.
old tea.
That's so airy. I
So
love
when you
tea
watch
like
like
this.
Love Actually, and she's like gets cheated on by Alan Rickman, like that's like
That's what she's channeling.
drawing from.
Oh my God. I remember
Seriously.
watching.
Your toes look really nice.
Thank you. The Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh
Uh-huh.
with Denzel Washington, and Kenneth Branagh was in that one,
He's in a lot.
and Emma Thompson, and I was like, oh, my life has been changed
Ah,
in this moment.
I love Shakespeare.
This is it for me.
It's amazing.
I am enchanted.
I am enchanted.
That's a funny one too. It's very airy. Much Ado
Mhm.
About Nothing,
Mhm.
and it's all about
A
miscommunication.
lot of Shakespeare is very airy.
Mm-hmm.
He liked some
It
drama.
was a little silly.
Yeah. Midsummer Night's Dream is very. Have you seen Midsummer Night's
I love
Dream?
Midsummer Night's Dream.
I love that.
I also love the like 90s Get Over It with Kirsten Dunst, the guy from Flash Forward, and Colin Hanks. You haven't seen it?
No.
You have to
Is
see
it a
it.
Shakespeare? Is it like 10 Things I Hate About You, where it's like
Yeah, it's that,
a
and
Shakespeare
they also
modernized?
perform Midsummer Night's Dream. It's so
Oh my
good.
God,
It's hilarious.
their
Cisco
Midsummer
is in
Night-
it.
Cisco's in it?
Absolutely.
I'm in.
You have to see that. It's like peak 90s
I think
teen
Cisco's
movie.
a Gemini.
I would love for Cisco to be a Gemini. Should we look it
I
up?
don't. Yeah, I don't have my phone. Let's look it up. Gonna be some dead air for a minute while we
Famous
look up.
air signs,
Do we?
baby.
We'll never know.
That thong, the thong, thong, thong. Sun in Scorpio.
Oh, Scorpio. I was wrong.
I like the way the beat goes. Well, we
Well,
love him
okay, I was
anyway.
wrong.
He's
Sorry,
amazing.
I put us on a tangent.
We were on a tangent. Anyway, the point of all of that is
I should watch it.
you should watch it. It's fun. Shakespearean comedies are fun. 90s adaptations of them are fun and very
Mhm.
airy.
Mm.
hmm
Mm.
I might even like it more. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I might even like it. I don't know about more, but just as much as 10 Things I Hate About You.
Really?
Just as much as 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah,
Okay.
I know, huh?
You know how when you grow up with something and you watch it and you're like, oh, I just like love it.
Mhm.
And then you show someone something and you're like, I love it so much. And then they don't have the same connection to it
And
because
you're
they
like,
didn't.
oh,
And you're like,
bummer.
that sucks.
bummer. Laura's telling me she already hates it. Loretta.
Dude, my therapist did that. It was so funny. Like we were, she's like, calls me, hey, Miss Loretta, how are you doing today? And then at the end of the session, after I'm like crying about it, she goes, okay, Laura. And then and it's like, okay, bye, Laura. And it's right as I'm hanging up, and all I hear her go is like, oh. And then it like cuts out. She's like, ah. And then I was like, you're gonna feel bad for a week. Actually, 2 weeks. Every other week now.
That's so funny.
It was so funny that I almost emailed her like, it's okay. But she was like, ah. And then it cut out. It was so funny. I was like, and I forgot about it.
Technology is very airy. Media is very airy.
It is.
Remember when we used to have like tabloids, but then the blogs. That's all air, baby.
I like the old, like the
Perez
National
Hilton.
Enquirer, like the ones that are like printed on like newspaper
Oh,
paper.
those are wild.
I
Those are
want
like
those.
Aquarian AF. Like
Yeah.
the National Enquirer.
Yeah.
They're like
An alien.
an alien's coming to marry like Anne
Jeff
Heche.
Goldblum. yeah. I mean, yeah.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum is an alien. From
Oh wait, didn't Anne
Mars.
Heche actually say that?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
she did. Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Oh shit, I forgot.
peace, Anne
Oh,
Heche.
I'm in the worst of my Gemini element this episode.
We didn't think before we spoke.
This is why.
It's okay.
The pregnant pause is important.
Ugh. Oh my God. It's so funny.
Take the mic away.
We should answer some questions now.
Okay, let's
We need
see.
to take the mics away and we need some emperor energy. Let's get
We
some
need
structure.
some structure. Let's see what questions we have on the
I'm thinking
third
about
eye
sandwiches. I'm getting distracted.
line. Me too. Sandwich sounds so
I want a
good.
sandwich.
Sammy, everything on it. How can you tell when you need a reading or are over relying on readers?
That's a good question.
That's a really good question.
I've thought lately that I needed an exorcism, but it turns out I was just bored. I'm just kidding. I think there's things that you can do yourself
Mhm.
to remedy and discern. And then if you just feel like you need some extra help, then go for it. Or if you're indecisive or you need some just input that you can't get from anyone else or you need specific input, then you can reach out. That's my advice.
Absolutely. Like if it's interesting to you, if you
Yeah.
want to like experience a reading, you should do it. If you're struggling with figuring something out on your own, you should do it.
Yeah.
I think that over reliance comes from when you are struggling to make any decisions without the input of a psychic
Approval
or
of
medium.
another person
And
too.
I feel like that's what happened to Christy Carlson Romano.
Yeah.
She was like
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
texting this, could not make any decisions for herself without this psychic who like took major advantage
Yeah.
of her. I think, in my opinion, like working with a spiritual practitioner or reader should help empower you to make your own decisions and to trust your own discernment, your own free will. And it's one of the reasons where I'm like, if you feel like you need to see me every month, we're not doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
Yeah.
should be coming here every 3 to 6 months
Mm-hmm.
max. But if you have to keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back in order to make
Mhm.
decisions about your life, like that's where over reliance, I
Yeah.
think, pops in.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Or if you're in like an an atypically rough spot or patch or, where you need just a little extra TLC, like spiritually,
Mhm.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, if you find that you are spending well beyond your means
Mm-hmm.
to keep up with seeing a practitioner, like, that's over reliance too. You know, like, you shouldn't be
Yeah.
wrecking yourself and your credit and your
No.
bank account to see a reader
Mm-hmm.
when there's so many ways that you can do it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Uh, higher power. Any advice for finding a spirit, deity, or higher power in your practice?
Yeah. I think this is something I've realized lately is that a lot of the deities that I have relationships with are deities that came to me. Like I didn't seek them out. Um yeah, and I think a lot of the time that's how it is for me. I think if you seek out something too much, like I mean, yeah, I mean, if you do a bunch of research on a deity and then you're like, oh, all of a sudden it's trendy or whatever. Like
Yeah.
Hecate, I love you, Hecate, but like very trendy and very like everyone wants to be in relationship with this thing. And it's like, okay, that can be inauthentic and not a healthy relationship,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you are getting symbols and signs like and notions and things like that are real to you, like that might be something reaching out. Or it makes me really emotional because I've realized a lot of why I'm even a witch is because I was called 100%. And it was something that gave me emotional support and strength and like encouragement when I didn't have a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like these things watch out for you. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. Give me the cell phone. It's a really beautiful thing when that happens. No matter what, I was very young when it happened. But yeah, that's sort of my experience. What about you?
I think you touched on the most important thing, which is wait for them to come to you.
Yeah.
Wait for them to come to you.
You don't have to have like a
Because seeking out a spirit that doesn't want you is only going to leave complications like in your path. And
Yeah.
undoing things is so much harder than jumping into them. And, there's certain spirits who are part of closed practices. There are certain spirits who are bound to people and culture. And really, like, I just feel like obviously y'all are going to do whatever you want to do. And I love that for you. But I encourage you to consider waiting for the spirits to come to you, waiting for the deities to come to you. And then once you feel like you're hearing from them, like that would be a great time to book a reading who's a specialist in a particular deity or spirit and say like, hey, I've been experiencing this. Is this spirit calling me? And somebody who's has expertise in that realm can confirm it for you or send you on a more authentic path.
Yeah.
I think-
Because this is something I've heard recently on a few like shows I listen to, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's the concept of deities being beyond closed practices, being like, do you know what I'm? No, this is
I understand what you're
This is a good one. This is a good one where it's like, well,
wild.
this deity called to me in an authentic way, even though I'm not a part of this culture lineage or this closed practice, like, but it did happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
That's how you end up with like a trickster spirit, y'all.
That's sort of, I just, I don't know. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know the bounds because maybe people don't know that they are actually connected to that lineage, and
and it's totally possible. And that's why it's good to see like
you said,
a practitioner, especially if you think it's a spirit from a closed practice.
Yeah.
Because like
because that mentality, it can easily be
it's a little
appropriative.
colonial.
It's very in a colonial, like manifest destiny type situation where you're making a lot of assumptions about deities and how they operate without actually being one. Or a part of the culture in which they know and have relationship with it for like a long ass time, right?
Well, and in these closed practices, there's specific protocol that you have to go through in order to leave offerings, have conversations with these spirits. And you can only learn that by going through elders and through the appropriate channels. And it makes me a little bit nervous when people are like, okay, I saw this spirit in my dream, so I'm going to set up an altar and now I'm a devotee. And like, pish posh to tradition. I feel like you're setting yourself up for a problem, TBH.
Yeah, because elders, like, to bypass elders and like community, like those people like guard knowledge and guard you and guard, like, they're closed not to like keep you out, but to maybe like keep something in,
to keep people safe.
Like, quite frankly, like, not that their deities are like evil or whatever, but they're accustomed and meant for them.
Yes.
They're not doing that.
Those protocols exist
to say
for a
keep
reason.
out, but like,
but kind of,
but also
unless
like,
you're invited in.
Yeah. Like there's a it's not just to be like gatekeepy.
The
or
rules
whatever.
aren't random. It's not like love you Catholicism.
But I've seen more of that as a justification for like outside. I don't know. It makes me a little, like, respectfully, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like,
when people do that.
I just don't know if I
don't know that I have
agree
the
with
audacity for
that.
that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. That's not really, I haven't experienced that other than like Jesus, but that's like Jesus.
Jesus isn't a closed practice.
He's not a closed practice. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a little It's kind of like an excuse.
Like, you don't have to be baptized and go through specific protocol in order to have a connection with Jesus.
It was
And that's one
brief.
of the teachings of
It's a little
Christ.
Jesus
Yeah.
affair.
A
Okay.
little Jesus affair, a little bride of Christ over here.
The snake in the apple. I don't know what that
I
means.
see it a lot. Yeah. I used to see it a lot more on TikTok, but I feel like I've successfully muted
Do you know what I
a
mean?
lot of that
though?
away.
It's a
But I
lot
know
of, like,
exactly what you mean.
It's a weird,
thing.
and it's not just white people that do it,
It's a lot of people who do it.
which makes me go,
Yeah.
okay.
I also feel like there's an American entitlement that so many of
Yeah.
us have
Yeah.
subconsciously
Oh,
or
yeah.
consciously, you know.
That's our, colonized mindset.
Over here on like the island of misfits.
Yeah.
Like we're like, but where do I fit in?
It's a wild assumption that,
And I think also like
I don't know.
if you grow up in Christianity or Catholicism and you jump into spirituality, I think a big part of us wants to reject all discipline, all order.
Right.
Emperor
Mhm.
card
No,
from
that's
last
very
episode.
true.
And so when we hear that like certain spirits require discipline, require order, require protocol, they're like, no, I'm not going to do that.
You get very Aquarian and go,
Yeah.
but no, the
Not
concept-
me though.
Not me.
Couldn't be me.
But I really saw it.
Yeah. And it's like, well, maybe, and that's why you should go to an elder.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
it's just, yeah.
That was a good question.
Yeah, thank you.
So fun. And we would love to get more questions from you. So please jump on our website.
Yeah.
You can submit them on our website.
Yes.
hmm Or send them to our DMs. We check them.
DM us.
DM us.
Or you can send a voice note, email, and we will play your question
on the show.
live
Yeah.
on the show, and you
That
can
would
hear
be
your voice. So
fun.
if you just record a voice note on your phone and then attach it to an email
Mhm.
to thirdeyebindpod@gmail.com.
Yes.
And we will play it because I want to do that.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. More like a radio show
Yeah.
that way. Totally.
Well, I need a sandwich.
Me too.
So thank you for listening to Third Eye Bind.
Be sure to leave us a message on the Third Eye line. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening. You can follow the podcast at Third Eye Bind Pod on Instagram. There, submit your questions via the Third Eye line by sending us a voice message or text DM. The show is available wherever you listen to podcasts and for you to watch on YouTube. Get early access to episodes and even monthly one-on-one sessions with us by joining our Patreon. Find us at patreon.com/thirdeyebind. Third Eye Bind is produced and edited by Mike Realm. Hosted by Caitlin Grania and Loretta Wong. Music by Mike Realm. Set design by Loretta Wong. You can find Loretta on Instagram at LadyMoonCo and Caitlin at Caitlin.Grania.